If you start to feel anxiety around it, it's chances are you rejected about yourself. If you start to feel embarrassment around it, chances are this is something that you're repressing. If you want to push it away and you just don't want to see it about yourself, this is something that you condemn. All of these energies that linger on in your shadow can also cause health problems from not only a psychological standpoint, but from a physical health standpoint. Weight gain can often be tracked back to some emotional problem. Scientists are starting to admit something that spiritual practitioners have known for years. Emotional problems lead to physical problems. Many people are deteriorating their health and their youth by not dealing with the emotional onslaught of things that they simply are just not proud of. So the things that you are not proud of are generally an indicator of what's hidden in your shadow self. Also, this will lead you to your core self. Because behind these things that you are ashamed of is a truth that you need to see that will likely empower you. I will give you an example, and I will use myself once more. Now, for you, this may be different based on what you reject, repress, and condemn. So, I myself, again, afraid of my own vulnerabilities because of the volatile nature of the environment that I grew up in. And in that, I repress that part of myself except for in romantic and friendships and shared trauma relationships, okay? What this then did for me, as I said, is sabotage most of the relationships because the defense mechanisms around those vulnerabilities were very, very high. When I began to accept those parts of me, I was very uncomfortable. I felt very exposed. I felt very weak and vulnerable. When I started to speak the truth about how I was feeling and how I would not allow myself to not silence that part of me for fear that seeing this emotional part of me makes me a weak person, I began to garner a certain level of strength. I tapped into parts of me that made me like myself a whole lot more than I thought that it would. While the individuals that were normally used to me constantly being resilient or appearing invulnerable were not accustomed to it, and there was some murmurings about my behavior. After releasing myself from their opinions, I began to see an inner strength in me that I would not have saw otherwise had I kept denying this part of me. It contributed to me creating greater artistry, being more creative, feeling more at ease and more comfortable in my own skin. With that level of groundedness and confidence, I started to see more prosperity in my experience, you see? So for you, this can contribute to you having a greater level of prosperity and a greater level of self-understanding that leads you down the path of more abundance in your experience. But continuing to deny these parts of yourself will absolutely ensure that you may not find the keys to your soul that lead you down the pathway of the greater experiences. You will click the link that's in the description, which will lead you to the Google page. The link in the description, which will lead you to my Google Drive. In that Google Drive will be the document. It is a Word document. You can do it on your phone, or you can do it on a computer, or you may write these things down. I want you to spend a considerable amount of time thinking about the way you wish to answer these questions. And like I said, you can tell that these are things that you reject, repress, and condemn if you feel an overwhelming feeling of embarrassment or shame attached to it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email or text, and we will go from there.